Hello, thanks so much for being here and for joining me for this yoga class today. Today's class is called Lunar Flow Yoga. So, the intention for this class is meant to be therapeutic, and the idea of this class came from the practice of AcroYoga, which I'm really passionate about. And there, in this practice of AcroYoga, there's an acrobatic side and there's a therapeutic side. So when you're preparing for the more therapeutic side, these are some of the stretches that are used to prepare the body for that. These are also stretches and movements and postures that just feel really good in your body to help open things up and reduce any cranky sensations you might be feeling. So Lunar Flow, for this flow, I have worn my moon pants with the moon phases just to bring some more of that energy in. So we're gonna start this class from a standing position. Look down to your feet. Make sure the feet are hip distance, not wider than the hips. So when you look down to your feet, there's enough space to fit one more foot of yours. Now lift the toes, spread them wide. Give yourself a moment to just get really grounded, rooting down through the feet and rising up through the crown of the head. Standing in your power, arms are by your sides. Let's take the shoulders up as we inhale and then back and down as we exhale. Great, keeping the shoulders as low as you can, below the ears. We're going to start centering. So let's take our right hand to our heart, left hand to our belly. We'll just close the eyes now that we're comfortable in our standing position. And with the gaze inward, we'll simply notice our breath. As we inhale, we'll feel the expansion in the torso. And as we exhale, we'll feel the softening. Here we take the time to center, to connect with ourselves. Giving ourselves a pause in our day between what we've already done and what we're going to do in our practice. Continue to stay with your breath a few more rounds. Maybe lengthening the breath more if that's available. Inhaling all the way to the top of the breath. Exhale, slow release. And again. Gently start to flutter the eyes open, coming back into the space. Now lifting your hands off of the torso, bring your palms together and start to rub the hands together. Creating heat and friction. Soften the knees, take a micro bend, lengthen the tailbone by sending the tailbone down. Think about bringing belly button towards the spine. Now, raise your arms overhead, chi generation. Keeping the arms overhead, reaching up, feel the energy coming from your palms. Keep a micro bend in the knees. Let this energy circulate with your arms wide open, open to receiving the energy for this practice. From here, we'll slowly start to lower the arms down. Taking an intention of self-healing, bend the elbows so the palms are facing up, imagining that you're holding a tray. For this self-healing, we're going to take this heat from our hands to any body part that we feel really needs it. For example, my hips are pretty tight today, so I'm going to position my hands there. You might have a different part of your body that needs more attention. So just placing your palms to that area as an intention of sending love, energy, support, therapeutics to this beautiful part of your body that needs a little more attention. From here, we'll move into a self blessing. So this is going to be a standing water wash, and we're going to do it 3 times. So coming back to bending the elbows, lifting the palms up as if you're holding that tray. We're going to move the arms forward as if we're scooping water from our favorite body of water. We're going to lift the water up and we're going to let it wash over our heads, onto our shoulders, down our back. We'll hinge at the hips, taking the hands to the back of the legs, then bringing the hands to the feet, up the front of the legs, all the way up to the hips. Lift the hands again. We'll do it again. Take the hands forward, scoop the water, lift it up, pour it over your head. Take it to your shoulders, take it to your back. Hinge at the hips, fold, wash over the back of the legs, take the hands to the front, bring it up, back to our starting point. One more time, scoop the water, lift it up, pour it over your head, let it wash over you, cleansing, moving through, taking the hands now to the front, rising up, back to our starting point. Maybe taking a moment of bringing the palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Closing the eyes, feeling the energy at your heart. From here, we'll step our feet to the top of the mat, whichever end of the mat you want to come into. I'm going to step on the part of my mat where the sun is shining because I like that heat on my feet. It feels really good. Now, arms come by our sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up, fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Come into your forward fold. Now, as you inhale, take a half lift. Bring your palms to your shins. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, half lift. Moving and flowing. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. This time, let's stay in the half lift for another round of breath. Reach the crown of the head forward. Send the tailbone back, energetically lengthening. And on your next exhale, go ahead and come into a forward fold. Give yourself a little more time here. Stretch the back of the body. Arms can dangle, or hands can come to opposite elbows, framing your head with your arms. If your hamstrings are tight, you can bend your knees. Let your head and your neck relax. If your hands are to your elbows, gently release. Let the arms dangle. Take a micro bend at the knees and slowly start to roll up. You can deepen the bend in the knees if you need to. Press feet to the mat. Let your head come up last. And we arrive to Tadasana, our mountain pose. Arms are by our sides. Getting grounded, feeling rooted down. From here, take your hands to your hips. And we're going to step the right toes back. So as we step the right toes back, the left foot is leading. It's in the front. The knee is tracking over the ankle. The right heel is lifted. Crescent lunge. And then we're going to bring prayer hands to our heart center. Now, keeping our prayer hands, keeping the left knee bent, we're going to pulse with the right knee. So we'll bend the knee towards the mat, and then we'll straighten the leg, and we'll do that 2 more times. Noticing as you do this, where you feel sensation, where you feel strength, and where you feel stretching. Now, from here, we're going to open our heart. So we'll separate our hands. Elbows are bent, cactus arms. Take a little back bend, gaze up. And then exhale. Bring the hands back to center, thumbs to the heart center. From here, we're going to swivel that right foot to 90, and then we'll turn the left toes. So we've got all 10 toes facing the same direction. When you look down to your feet, make sure that they're in the same lane. So now we're in a wide-legged stance. From here, we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So the hands come to the hips. As you take an inhale breath, open your heart, send your elbows back, gaze up, and as you exhale, hinge at the hips, dive forward. Now, as you come into this wide-legged forward fold, notice if you need to separate your feet even more, if you need more of a stretch, or if this is too much and you don't feel stable, then you might want to bring your feet closer together. So just feel it out. Inhale, take a half lift, and as you exhale, fold. Now take your hands to your low back. Interlace your fingers, press your palms together. Keep the arms straight. Inhale, lift the fist up. Exhale, lower the fist down. And again, inhale, fist reach up. Top of the head lowers down. Exhale, lower the fist down. One more time, shoulder stretching. Inhale, lift the fist up. Exhale, lower them down. Release the hands. Bring them down to the mat. Take an inhale breath. Stay here for an exhale. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up. Back to our wide-legged stance. Now, from here, let's bring the heels in, toes out, bend the knees. Take your hands to your thighs. So the thumbs are facing inward. Knees are bent, but make sure that the hips don't drop lower than the knees. From here, take an inhale breath. As you exhale, the right shoulder dips to center. Inhale, torso to center. Exhale, left shoulder dips. Continuing movement following the breath. Each time you inhale, torso finds center. Each time you exhale, opposite shoulder dips. One more, each side. Notice how good this feels for your spine. Once you find center, press your feet to the mat, let the legs straighten, reach the arms up, position your body in a star shape. Imagine that you've got energy shooting out of your fingers all the way up to the moon. Feet are rooted and grounded down to the earth. So much strength and power. Exhale, lower the hands down. Now we're going to find Crescent Lunge on the other side. So position the right toes to face the back of the mat and then pop onto the left toes. So the left heel is lifted, right knee is tracking above the right ankle. Arms rise forward and up, Crescent Lunge. From here, we're going to bring our hands to prayer position at the heart center. Taking our 3 pulses on this side with the left knee, we'll bend the knee, lower it towards the mat without touching, and then straighten the left leg again. 2 more times, controlled movement. You might even feel activation at the right glute. And then once that left leg is straight, we'll open our heart, separate the hands, cactus arms, gaze up, little back bend, and then we'll bring the palms back together. Now, from here, we're going to take our hands down to the mat, and we'll step that right foot back to plank position. Now, from plank position, we're going to transition to downward facing dog. So first off, make sure that your shoulders aren't coming past your fingertips. Then lift your hips way up high. Maybe you press heels to the mat, but if your hamstrings are tight, you can bend your knees, keep your heels lifted. Think about sending your chest towards your thighs. Spread the fingers wide. Maybe bend one knee as the opposite leg straightens. Maybe you rock the hips from side to side. Now finding center, soften the knees, bend them, gently lower them down to the mat. Now as you lower your knees to the mat, bring your wrist in alignment with your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. So we're going to take some cat-cow movements. The arms are going to stay straight. As we inhale, we'll lower the belly towards the mat. And as we exhale, we'll lift the back, creating space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lower the belly. Exhale, lift the back. We'll take one more round. This time, as you exhale, imagine you're trying to tap your upper back to the ceiling. And then come into a neutral tabletop position. Looking at your fingers, Rotate the left fingers to the left side of the mat. Rotate the right fingers to the right side of the mat. Then rotate the left fingers towards your left knee. Rotate the right fingers towards your right knee. Now we want to keep the palms grounded. Curl the toes. Send the hips back. If your palms start to peel off of the mat, then back out a little bit. Keep them connected. Notice where you feel the sensation. I feel a nice stretch going up the forearms, and I also feel a really nice stretch at the back of the hands. You might even be feeling this underneath your toes. Now bring the hips forward. Slowly start to rotate the right fingers to the right side of the mat. Left fingers to the left side of the mat. Then bring the right fingers forward. Take the left fingers forward. Walk the hands one hand placement forward. Give yourself a little more room. Send the left toes back, right toes back. So you're coming into plank position. Now, holding this plank, we're going to bend the right knee and press that left heel back. And then we're going to bend the left knee, press that right heel back, feeling into the calf muscles. Maybe taking this one more time on each side. I find that this is an area where a lot of people have tightness. And the next time you even it out, bring the knees down. Walk the hands towards the body. Now we're going to come into a pose or a movement, a technique that has been called Kneel Diamond by the creators at AcroYoga.org. And this is a really great way to give yourself massage by palming your quads. So to position yourself, you're going to curl your toes and you're going to be on your heels. Now, as you curl your toes and you're on your heels, you're going to take your knees wide. Okay, so this is our kneel diamond. Now, while you're kneeling here in your diamond, your toes are curled, so you're getting an awesome stretch underneath the toes. And at the same time, you're going to take the heels of your hands, pressing onto your quads, and just elephant walking. So lifting one hand and then the other. So you're just palming the quads, walking the heels of the hands up and down the thighs. This feels really good, especially if you're tight in this area. We'll finish off this last round of up and down. Now from here, we're going to transition. So you'll bring your hands forward, reposition yourself if you need to. So the hands come to the top of the mat. Then from here, back to plank position. Lift the hips, find your down dog. Inhale, lift and lengthen that right leg. Exhale, bend the knees, step it through. Lower the left knee down. Lift the arms up. So now we're in our knee down lunge. From our knee down lunge, we've got the right foot forward, so we're going to take the left hand down. Now we'll lift the left knee, reach the right fingers up. Now we're in a twisted lunge. As we exhale, we'll drop that left knee back down and then lift the foot. So your right hand is reaching back for your left foot. If you make the connection, open your heart, gaze up. If you have trouble making the connection, you can use a strap. And then we'll gently release the foot. As you gently release the foot, let the toes come down. Take your right hand to the inside of the right foot. You might need to wiggle that right foot out a little wider. We're coming into our lizard lunge now. So you might have your arms straight. You might uncurl the back toes if that feels more comfortable. You might decide to come onto your forearms, positioning your elbows in line with the arch of your right foot. Maybe that right knee splays out, external rotation for the hip. That feels awesome in my body today. However, in your body, you might want to hug that right knee in towards your shoulder. Feel it out. And then press palms to the mat. So hands are in line with the right foot. From here, we'll send the hips back just enough to where the left hip is above the left knee. We'll straighten that right leg. It might be more comfortable for you to walk your hands closer towards your body. Right toes are lifted. Take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, bend the elbows, fold forward. As you fold forward, feel the right hamstring opening. Nice, deep stretch. Feels so good in the body. Stay here with the breath. On your next inhale, start to bend that right knee. Walk the hands forward so the hands are in line with the right foot. Now, curl the left toes, lift the left knee. Step the right foot back. We're back to plank position. Lift the hips. Find your down dog. Inhale, lift and lengthen that left leg. Exhale, bend the knees. Step the left foot outside of the left hand. Lower the right knee down. Then lift the hands, finding your way into this knee down lunge. And from here, we're going to take it into a twisted lunge. So the left foot is forward. We'll position that right hand down. So the right hand is in line with the left foot. Now we'll lift the right knee, reach the left fingers up, gaze up, twisting to the left. From here, we're going to lower that right knee down. Left hand reaches back, connecting hand to foot. Left hand to right foot. Nice stretch for the quad. Open the heart. You might even be feeling sensation in the spine. And then on our next exhale, we're going to gently release, slowly bringing the right foot back down. Take the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Coming into our lizard lunge, option to stay here if this feels good to you. Option to lower the forearms down to the mat, elbows in line with the arch of the left foot. And then seeing what feels good in your body here. So maybe that left knee splays out away from the shoulder. Or maybe you hug it in. Letting the hip open up. And if the forearms are down, press palms to the mat. Lift the hips, send them back. Right hip above right knee. Maybe walking the hands towards you. Left leg straightens, left toes lift. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale, fold. As you fold, bring awareness to this left hamstring. Feel so much gratitude for this time, for this stretch. Stretching feels so good. It's so therapeutic. It's a great way to take care of ourselves. Now from here, we'll bend the knee, start to shift forward, bring the hands in line with the left foot. And we'll curl the right toes. Come off the right knee, send the left foot back. It's plank position. Lift the hips. Find your down dog. And pulsing here in our down dog, we're going to bend our knees with the inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to press heels to the mat. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, press heels to the mat. And again, one more time. Now take the knees all the way down to the mat. Keep the toes curled and sit your hips onto your heels. So just like we did in the kneel diamond, but now the knees are together and the feet are together. So if you can stay here, awesome, great opportunity to release the stress and the tension that we hold in that place. If this is too much for you at any point, you can always uncurl your toes and bring the tops of your feet to the mat. So you decide what's working for your body. While we're here, we're going to come into some wrist circles. So we can just start off by lifting our fist and circling them around, and then circle around opposite direction. Now we are going to let ourselves come off of the toes, giving ourselves a little break, finding a different seated position. Bring one leg in front of the other. And from here, you can take your hands to your thighs. Find a full round of breath. Get centered in this seated position. And now we'll take some torso circles. So think about just moving your torso. This feels really good. I find that it feels good for my spine, for my back, for the sides of my body. And then see if you can circle your torso around other direction. Find freedom in your movement. It's so liberated to move in this way. Keep switching up the direction whenever you want. And then from here, we're going to take a wider opening with the legs. So remember when we were standing with our legs wide, same thing, but now we're seated. Your legs might even go a little bit wider. Just make sure that the knees aren't popping up. We want to keep the calves and the hamstrings down to the mat. So we're going to come into our little pancake here where we fold forward, bringing the hands in front of you. Inhale, reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. Exhale, walk the hands forward. Now, as you walk your hands forward, notice how the inner thighs feel. The more you lower down, you'll start to feel the stretch also in your back. So if you're able to fold forward a lot and get a deep stretch, let your head relax. Maybe your forehead comes all the way down to the mat, or maybe you position a block under your forehead for support. We've got 2 more rounds of breath here. You might even reach your hands towards your feet if that feels good to you. I like to take my arms to rest on my thighs, relaxing my shoulders and lowering the forehead down to connect. As we inhale, we'll rise up. Crown of the head reaches all the way up. Now from here, coming into a side body stretch, we are going to bring the legs back in like we did before, just finding a comfortable setup for your legs. You can find that hero pose that we were doing earlier, or maybe this is better for you. Now from here, let's lift the arms up, fingertips reach up, gathering energy just like we did with our chi generation at the beginning of class. But now we're going to let one hand come down. The opposite fingers reach up, and then as we exhale, we lean over towards our grounded hand. Your grounded hand might walk further away from the hip. Reach, top arm, bicep is positioned above the ear. Reach, reach, reach. Keep the hips grounded. Feel a nice deep stretch from the hip all the way up to the arm. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, take it to the other direction. Inhale, reach the fingers up. Exhale, fold. See how this side feels. Inhale, come up. We're going to do that one more time on each side. So this second time that you come into it, you might notice the ability to get into a deeper stretch. If one side felt tighter than the other, you can give yourself a little more time there. And when you're ready to move on to the other side, let's do that. Inhale, come up. Exhale, let the hands float down. So we're getting towards the end of our lunar yoga practice today, but we are going to spend a little bit of time with self massage. So we live in this culture where we really put a lot of value on doing a lot of things, and we spend very little time taking care of ourselves. A lot of us. So what we can do right now is honor ourselves with some therapeutic touch, and we're going to focus on the feet, the calves, the thighs. So position yourself how is comfortable. Make sure that you have access to your feet, to your calf muscles, and to your thighs. First, you can start off by taking your thumbs to the arches of your feet, pressing the thumbs in, holding the press, and then circling the thumbs around. Now you might lift the thumbs and find another area along the arch of your foot, and then again. So as you move your thumbs to different points, you might notice an area that has a little more tension. So for me, for example, I can feel a little more tightness on my right foot at a specific point. So I'm going to focus on that knot by pressing my thumb in and then just rolling it out. Giving our feet some love because they do so much for us. They take us so many places. And then we'll lift the hands from the feet, and now we'll focus on the calf muscles. So while we're doing this, we don't want to press onto the bone, but we want to work with the fleshy, meaty area. So we can use the heel of our hand. This means we're going to rotate the fingers in, and we're just going to press the heel of the hand to the meaty part of the calf muscle. So we're working our way from the ankle up towards the knee, and then from the knee back down to the ankle. Remember, avoid bone. We'll go up and down the calf muscle, one leg at a time, 3 times. As you're doing this, you might notice how much your body needs therapeutic touch. Finishing our last round. And then we'll do that on the other side. So remember, rotate the fingers in so you can work with the heel of your hand. Start at the fleshy part above the ankle. You're pressing the heel of the hand down and then lifting it, taking it higher up, press it down. Focus on the calf muscle as you work your way up towards the back of the knee. And once you get there, you're going to work the heel back down towards the ankle. And then 2 more times, working your way up and then working your way down. Again, here you'll notice an area that might feel tighter. You're free to spend more time there if you'd like. Almost finished, and then we're going to move on to the thighs. So lifting the hand off the calf muscles, taking the heel of our hands to our thighs, and then doing our elephant walking. So leaning from one side to the other. Avoid the knees. We don't want to press on the bones. Just let your hands explore, finding any area that feels tight. You'll notice the parts that feel really good. You might even walk the heel of the hands all the way up to the hips, to the hip crease. You can focus on the inner thighs, or maybe you're more on the quads. You get to decide because this is your body, your practice today. All right, find center. And we're going to finish off this self-massage with some Thai chops. So Thai yoga is something that I learned for the AcroYoga practice, and I've been certified in Thai massage and Thai body work, and it's a really great way to learn healing touch to provide when you're working with a partner in partner yoga, and in this case, for yourself. So the Thai chops are when you're going to take your palms together, let the fingers have space, and let the wrist be loose. And you're just going to take the chops from the thighs down to the feet, up to the other side, and then back around. Maybe you concentrate on the thighs. Feel it out. See what feels good to you. Avoid any place that doesn't feel good. And then find center. All right. So at this point of our practice, you have the choice to come into Shavasana if you'd like to come into some time of rest and integration for your practice. If you've never done this before and you don't know what Shavasana looks like, or it's been a while, let me refresh your memory. So we're in this star shape. We've got space between the feet and the legs, and we've got space at the armpits. We want to lower the chin towards the chest, lengthening the back of the neck, and closing the eyes. So we're bringing the gaze inward. We're allowing ourselves to be still, to just be without doing, to fully practice presence. If at any point in this time of relaxation, the thoughts really start to wander, just come back to your breath, noticing each inhalation and each exhalation. With each exhale, let your body completely let go, surrendering, softening, melting down onto the mat. Maybe take a sigh of relief with each exhale. Option to stay here as long as you'd like. Or option to join me in closing our practice. If you're happy where you are in your Shavasana, please feel free to stay there. As we close, you can stay in this shape. You can start to work towards a comfortable seat. You choose. This is the beauty of having your home practice, is you get to decide from the options, making those decisions based on how your body feels and what's going on today. Each day is different. So as we come on to our seat, we're going to take another self-blessing, this time seated. So we'll lift our hands, palms facing up. We'll scoop our hands forward, collecting our imaginary water, lifting it up, letting it wash overhead, taking our hands to caress our hair, our shoulders, the back of the body, and then taking the hands to the thighs, towards the feet, and then lifting the palms up. And again, scoop the water, lift it up, pour it overhead, let it wash over you, cleansing anything you no longer need off of your body. And then one more time, scoop it up. Go at your pace. Go as slow or as fast as you feel that you need. And then bring your hands together, thumbs to your heart center. I almost made it to a full class without Miss Lilu making her cameo, but here she is. She wants to close things out with us. So as you bring your hands together, thumbs to your heart center, root down in your seat, rise up through the crown of the head. Feel that straight spine, find your breath. Keep the gaze inward with the eyes closed. Continue to breathe with intention. Feel gratitude for the time and space of moving with intention. Know that it's okay to move slow. Our culture tends to value intellect over intuition. Our bodies aren't just a vehicle to take our minds from place to place. Movement can balance our mind and our heart. Thank you so much for your presence today. Namaste.